it's me, James, for the Philly Sports and Event Show. As you can see, I'm here once again with my friend Dennis.
I have a page on YouTube called Scan Talk, SCAN Talk, TALK, and I also have a Facebook page, Scan Talk. So if you can, check out my channel, subscribe. And now that the weather's getting nice, it's springtime, I'm going to start getting back to doing shows. I only did one this winter, but now it's springtime. I know people have more time on their hands. It's getting nice out. People will be going out more, so I look forward to recording more shows. So look forward to more episodes of Scan Talk coming in the near future.
Scan Talk, SCAN Talk, I often talk about. It's my friend Dennis' show on YouTube. Please check it out. I have been friends with Dennis for many, many years, but, we both like sports. We go to the football games together, sometimes the baseball game in Philadelphia. But until I start to watch his YouTube show, which is a variety talk show, every time he would get somebody with a different profession to be on the show, such as like bartenders and even and tattoo artists. And I told him, it's really funny because I never knew Dennis is that funny until I saw his show. Like they always talks about something funny and I told Dennis I was surprised, because I know him all these years and I didn't know he can be that funny, but you gotta see his Scan Talk show. It's very entertaining.
Thanks, James. I'll try to be more funny when we hang out. I'll try to be a little bit more funny.
I always try, but it don't always work. And another funny thing is that when we record the show, or even sometimes Dennis record his show in his house, and this is the spot to do it, right? The stairs behind us, and as you can see, there's a thermometer right here for to control the temperature for the house. And it seems like every time a show is recorded in the spot, and a lot commenting that people, make comments about the video, and it seems like the viewers always focus on the temperature of the thermometer. Right? They're saying, like in the wintertime, and they're saying, oh, why you have this thermometer set so high or stuff like that. And in the summertime, people would say, oh, why you set it, 64, 63?
Right. It's the winter time. When I'm home, I set it at 66. Luckily, I'm usually upstairs. I got a space heater up there, so I keep it at 66 no matter how cold it is. And then when I leave the house, I usually put it, like 60, 61, 62. So right now, I have it set at 66, and it feels fine here. But
that was nice.
First day of the spring, well, it feels like spring, so
it feels like summer. It's actually.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I have been complaining about how cold it is in Philadelphia and South Jersey area, but today it's actually hot. It's really hot outside, and yesterday I was just complaining about the cold, and today I'm complaining about the heat.
Right, so the gas bills, these next few days, your gas bill next month shouldn't be too bad, because it's too early to turn the air conditioner on, because there's probably going to be a couple more days where it gets back to being cold. But for now, it feels great. Not using the heat, and don't have to turn the air conditioner on yet, so everyone's saving a few dollars today, and hopefully for the next week or so.
Okay, so I have Dennis here to help me out with a little bit to talk about Philly sports, because he knows a lot more about sports than I do. That's why my show is just mainly about the events that are surrounding the sports. So Philadelphia sports. Let's talk about the Flyers first.
Yes.
So this year, so far, the Flyers are winning some games and losing some games. And we're, at this point, like how many? About maybe like 20, 25 more games left?
I think they have exactly 19 to go.
Exactly 19 games left. Okay, and we're not even sure if they're going to be in the playoffs yet. So they're not playing really good, but they're not playing really bad either. So what is going on with the Flyers?
Well, last year the Flyers were really bad. Everybody knew they were going to be really bad. So, no one really got mad or whatever. It was the head coach's first year. It's his fourth team, and the other three teams that he's been to, he's won a Stanley Cup. He went to the Stanley Cup with another team, and even the other team, he was only there for 1 year, and he turned it around. There was problems in their front office. So everybody knew the Flyers were going to eventually be good, with this coach. They have 9 players on the team under the age of 24. So everybody thought this year would be kind of like last year, maybe a little bit better, still a bad team. But then all of a sudden you start winning games, and people get excited. Now probably expectations are high. Now it's all of a sudden they better make the playoffs. When at the beginning of the year, everybody said they had no shot at the playoffs. They're currently in third place out of 8 teams. They've got a 2-game lead on the 4th place team. They probably have to stay in third place to make the playoffs because the 2 wild card teams are probably going to come from the other division. It's going to be close. So you have like 2 or 3 teams they need to hold off on to make the playoffs. To make the playoffs, it's a bonus. I mean, they're probably going to lose in the first round. Let's be honest, but make it be exciting. At least give the town something to be excited about for 10, 12 days. Maybe have some events that me and James like to go to. At least 1 or 2 extra events, some rally towels and some pep rallies. But at this point, calm down. It's kind of like a bonus year the way I look at it. They were supposed to be. Last year they came in 7th place. This year they're probably expected to come in like 6th place. Right now they're in 3rd place. Like I said, they have 9 guys under the age of 24, and they're probably going to trade like 1 or 2 of their veterans next week at the trade deadline, and probably pick up even more prospects or a couple more draft picks. So things are getting there. I went to 3 Flyer games this year, and they won all 3. So obviously I'm really excited about the Flyers. But they have a tough stretch of games. Tomorrow they play the Blues, which is a pretty good team. And then later in the week they play at Tampa. They just beat Tampa last week. They play at Florida, who's one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. But overall, let's be positive because I think there are good days ahead with the Flyers. They're not winning the Stanley Cup this year, but there's good days ahead.
I think so too. Like if not this year, maybe the next few years, because like you said, it's a young team, so it seems like they're building a new team with younger players, and they just hired Jonesy, right? Jonesy used to be on the WIP radio. He's the president of the Flyers.
Right, Jonesy and Daniel Briere, president, vice president. They're 2 former Flyers, always been popular in the town. They're both really good players, but good personalities. They know what the culture is of the Flyers. I'd be surprised if within 5 years they don't make a deep run in the playoffs.
I think they're going the right directions. It's a young team, and there's plenty of potentials. So the next few years for the Flyers, I think it's looking good. If not this year.
Right.
All right. So next, Sixers. We're in the basketball season too now. Hockey's and basketball. Sixers. So there really isn't a whole lot to talk about. Basketball. Just like baseball. In the season, there's like a game every day, and you turn the TV on every night. Sixers playing, and eventually kind of getting tired of it because there's too many games. It's not like football, just once a week, and it builds up to Sunday game day, and everybody's really excited about the game. So there's not really anything super exciting about the Sixers, but the Sixers superstar player Joel Embiid, right? He's always injured. As far as I can remember, every season, he is a good player. When we have him on the court, the Sixers are able to win most of the time or sometimes. But as of right now, right, he's injured again. And without Joel Embiid, right, and Sixers, to me, is just a very average team, and they're actually losing more games than winning right now. And then they also got some good players like Tyrese Maxey and Tavares Harris, but they're not enough. They're not enough to win the game without Joel Embiid. So what do you think is going on with this dude? How come he's always injured? As far as I can remember, if it's not the ankle, knees, elbow, and even one time he got hit in the face and his cheekbone broke and he had to wear the Phantom of the Opera mask and even when it was healed good enough and he had the mask on and he was playing a phantom basketball, it's really weird. Like, what is going on with this dude?
I mean, obviously he's a star player. Last year he won the MVP. Regardless, top 3, if not, some people say he's the best player in the NBA. I think the problem is he's too big. He's like 7'3", weighs a lot. I don't know what he weighs, weighs a lot. His body's big. His arms and legs are all over the place. So it seems like he just puts forth more energy than everybody else when he's playing. I don't know, just because he's so big, his arms are so wide. But he seems like he gets hurt every year. I mean, I don't know if he's ever had a healthy year where he's played more than 70 games all season. They're saying he may come back like a week before regular season. They're probably the NBA. Technically, 10 teams make the playoffs. They have that goofy thing where 10 plays 9, and then 9 plays 8, and then 7 plays 8 for the 7th spot. I mean, they're going to be in the top 10. They're probably going to be in the top 8. So they're going to make the playoffs regardless. It looks like right now we just got done watching the game where they beat the Mavericks on the road, which was a good win. I think it puts them in a tie for 4th. So they're probably going to be between like 4th and the 6th spot, maybe 7. So as long as they could at least avoid the 8th spot, or they don't want to play the Celtics. They're not going to beat the Celtics in the playoffs, but if they could avoid the 8th spot, even like the 6th seed, they could win one playoff round. If they could avoid the Celtics in the second round, and this is all based on a healthy Embiid or whatever, they could actually win 2 series. But at some point, unless somebody beats Boston or Boston gets like 3 injuries, they're probably not going to beat Boston anyway. But they should be winning more regular season games. It should be like a 3 seed, possibly even a 2 seed. Because teams like the Bucks and Cleveland, who are 2 and 3 right now, have lost a lot of games too. So with a healthy Embiid, they may even be a 2 seed. Where now they're tied for 4th, but they'll probably slip a little bit further without Embiid. But without him, they have no shot to win the play. Like no shot. There's no way they're beating a playoff game. 4 games to win a series. They might win 1 game in a series, maybe 2, maybe a miracle they win 3. But there's no way they're winning 4 games in the first round of playoffs without Embiid. No way.
That's a good point because I was just under the impression maybe he's not that he's not healthy. It's just that maybe his body is prone to injury. It was no good. But you just mentioned, like I never thought about especially in basketball, lots of those athletes, they're big and tall and their body's different than average people's body. That's why they can do things we cannot do. And with the arms being really long, the legs being really long, and like you said, arms flapping all over the place, and it's probably a lot easier for them to get injured, and it's something that we cannot comprehend because our body's not like theirs. I don't know if you saw that or not. I just saw something about the college basketball. They might ban the rushing the court at the end when the team wins because the fans and the students rushing the court after one of the I don't remember what team was one of the
Duke. It was Duke.
It was men's. It was Duke's game, right?
And it was Iowa's star basketball player, female.
Yeah, and he got run right over by a fan, and he got seriously injured, and his teammate had to help him off the court, So yeah, I think it's hard for them to take a fall or somebody fall on them, and it's very easy for them to get injured because their body is so big,
Right. You'd think it would happen more often. I think it actually happens more often. They just don't report every single time because if you have 5, 6, I don't know what it is, 1,000 people rushing the court. I mean, when you see them run on, you got to think they're going to hit somebody. There's no way a player on the other team's going to dodge 700 people. Plus, you also got the refs running off the court, and their own guys get hit by the fans running on the court. They run up and they want to start hugging and whatever, chest bumping them. It's kind of silly. In a weird sort of way, it's kind of tradition of college basketball. When you pull off a big upset, everybody runs on the court. I think it's a little silly.
It's kind of silly, but that's what you're going to college for. So maybe they just got to find a way to do it. Like maybe they need to make sure the players are actually off the court, or have the players go in the locker room and then allow everybody to rush the court. Because there should be a time for it. And also, well, it's hard to say. There's also an incident with the college football. When they win the game and then the championship game or whatever, they take down the goalpost.
Right.
And somebody got hit in the head and got injured. So there's got to be a way to do it and do it safely.
Right. But basketball's so much more dangerous. At least football, the other players have equipment on. They have a helmet. They have shoulder pads, and the field's 5 times bigger than the basketball court. So at least they could kind of run to their own sidelines. For basketball, you really can't run anywhere. You're stuck on the court. You're basically boxed in.
I just got an idea, but I'm just trying to be funny. How about have the basketball player wearing helmets too, just like football?
Yeah, at the end of the game, they all put a helmet on. Like 10 seconds.
Look more more. I won't say nacho, more macho with the football players wear the helmet, and nowadays they wear those shield, and they actually look like Air Force pilot, or some kind of space astronaut, with the reflective helmet. I mean, shield, on the helmet.
Exactly.
Maybe the basketball player should wear
I don't know. One day.
helmet.
Maybe
That's what we're going to evolve to one day. Okay, so the next, Philadelphia Phillies. Okay, so Phillies, during spring training and the preseason games now, and the Phillies, the baseball season is going to open soon, and Phillies in the past couple of years they were playing really good, and it was a very exciting time in Philadelphia because they play in the playoff games, and the whatever those the league championship
Right.
games and the division and then the league championship games, but they cannot close the deal, because a couple years ago they lost the World Series game, right, and last year they almost made to the World Series.
Right. Last year was more frustrating. At least 2 years ago, they made it all the way to the World Series. So obviously, it's an extra series you win. You get to celebrate your National League champs. And they were up 2-1 in that series against the Astros. Game 3, they had like 7 home runs, which is like tied like a World Series record. And then unfortunately, the last 3 games, the offense went cold. I mean, they got no hit in I think it was game 4. They didn't get any hits. And then, the game.
Yeah, I remember that. Right. So a lot of people blame it on Philly's bullpen. So what do you think? If this Philly's bullpen sucks, let's put it this way.
Well, I mean, everyone always blames the bullpen because, they had 2 star pitchers. They have a pretty good starting rotation. I mean, the offense, they have a lot of star players in the offense. But, going back to the Astros series, Game 4 they got no hit, and in Game 6 they lost 2-1. They had just 1 solo homer by Schwarber. And this past year, Arizona, the last 3 games they lost, 3 of the 4 games they lost to Arizona, the offense didn't really score any runs. The only exception was was Game 4. Arizona were up, 2-1. I don't know exactly. They had like a 3-run lead going, like the 7th inning, the bullpen blow up. I mean, that player's not going to be on the Phillies next year. Kimbrel, he signed with the Orioles.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one game the bullpen, blew or whatever. But 3 to 4 games lost to Arizona, they didn't score didn't score many runs. They only scored 1 run in Game 3 when they were up 2-1. That was on a wild pitch. We were watching Game 7 together. The offense just didn't hit, and they really didn't hit in Game 6 or 7. So overall, the offense is better than the bullpen per se. But if you look at the games they lost then the last 2 seasons, it's really because they didn't score any runs. I mean, offense at some point you're going to go cold. You just hope you stay hot in the playoffs. But unfortunately, they went cold against the Astros in the World Series after they were up 2-1, and they went real cold when they were up on Arizona 2-0. So I kind of blame more the offense in the playoffs, but overall the offense carried them throughout the years again. Through the playoffs, the offense was good, but
yeah, it's like Aranola. It's hard to say, because it's kind of inconsistent. Sometimes he pitches really good, but sometimes he isn't. I know that from play some sports betting. I see, Nola had a couple of good games, and then the next time he's pitching. And I just bet like $5 or $10 on Phillies to win, and then all of a sudden it's a bad game for Nola.
Nola didn't have a good year last year. Look at his stats. His ERA was like 4.56 or 4.58. So really didn't pitch that well last year. I don't know if he was in a contract year. Usually players pitch better or play better in a contract year. I don't know if it bothered him. He had he had a few really bad outings, which really messes up your ERA. But overall, it wasn't really the Aaron Nola of some of the years past. I think he'll be much better this year. Suppose he looks really good in spring training, but.
And also, Philly star player Bryce Harper, he is a good player, but I just don't feel like in certain way he's not good enough, because when you need him, like you were saying, the series against the Astros in the playoffs games, and when we need him to hit some home runs, and he can do it, you know what I mean? Well, it's like, I just feel like when you need him, when you need the home runs, and he's not producing home runs.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do much the last 3 games. Game 6 and 7, like the Phillies' 5 best players went something for 44 in the last game. Game 6 and Game 7 against Arizona with no home runs. So it's just so hard because the season's so long. It's 162 games. Overall, they hit well, obviously. In the playoffs, they hit well against Florida, and they hit well against Atlanta. They hit well the first two games, and at some point, baseball's hard because it's so many games, and at some point your offense is going to go in a slump or go cold. And usually when you go cold, you lose. That's when you lose the games, and you always look back and saying it's because you got guys that hit for those few games. It would have been good to see them win, just one more against Arizona. At least get back into the World Series. I mean, Texas would have been tough. It would have been like a 50-50 series. They may not have won, but at least they were much better than Arizona. That's the thing.
Right.
These 2 years ago, we lost to the Astros. The Astros were really good. But when you lose to Arizona, who was just they were pretty good, but definitely not a team. They never should have made the World Series. That Arizona team. That's what's frustrating.
So now, Phillies season is about to be open again, and I remember last year, because last year Phillies was hot. The year prior to that, they were in the World Series, even though they did not win the World Series. But Phillies was hot last year, so everybody was waiting for the opening day, and everybody was trying to get tickets to the Phillies game. So somehow, when I was looking just look for the prices of the individual Phillies game tickets, and somehow I'm running into the Fighting Phils club. It's not the Reading fighting Phils. It's the Philadelphia Phillies. They have a special club, and it only costs like about $25. You can join the club, and you get some discount, maybe 10, 15, 20% discount when you buy things in the Phillies stadium store. And also the best part is you get two Phillies tickets to selected games. There are a few selected games, like about maybe like 8 or 10 games you can pick and choose from, and you get 2 free tickets. So I signed up for it because each individual ticket nowadays costs about anywhere from $22 to $25. So at least. So you sign up for the Fighting Phil's Club, and you get 2 tickets of your choice of the selected game. So that was a good deal. But this year, right, we're still about a month away from the Major League Baseball season opening, and I looked up on the Phillies website for the Fighting Phil Club, and the tickets were sold out. The club membership or whatever, it was already sold out. So the Phillies tickets are going fast. Why do you think is that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously coming off of 2 big years or whatever, like we talked about 2 years ago in the World Series last year, they made all the way to Game 7 in the NLCS. And right now they're the hottest team in town. I mean, the Eagles, we'll talk about the Eagles in a little bit, but they were 10-1. They lost, 6 out of 7, 7 out of 8 or whatever it was. So, people are a little down on the Eagles. Sixers are, struggling with the injuries. They're probably just the middle of the pack now. The Flyers are struggling, like I said, it's their young team. They're struggling just, make the playoffs. So really the only team that I think most people would expect to possibly win a championship in the next year or two is probably the Phillies. They should definitely make the playoffs. I'm sure we'll get to that in a little bit. There's a lot of excitement, and baseball is always exciting because, Phillies opening day is always late March, early April, which means spring's here, means the summer's less than 2 months away. For the most part, the weather gets nicer. And it's kind of like the Phillies offense is going to be the exact same team. They might have like one new bench player, and the pitchers are going to be the same. They only have like 2 or 3 different players on the whole team, so everyone knows these players. They're likable,
Yeah, people love baseball in Philadelphia. Like every year, a lot of sports fans around here are excited about the Phillies opening day.
Yeah.
Yeah, people want to go there and get the free McDonald's T-shirt.
Right. Yeah, and then they're playing the Braves on opening day again. They're
Braves. Yeah,
that's the team they're going to battle it out with first.
Right. Every year. Every year the Braves and the Nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later in the year, the Phillies, they play every team in the National League at home at least one time. They play the Dodgers. Dodgers got Ohtani. That's going to bring the tickets for that game are just, crazy. $200 for like the worst seat in the stadium. And the Yankees are coming down this year. A lot of people from New York, I'm sure, will come down. So the tickets for those games are just basically a family of 4, unless you're, insanely rich, you can't go to that game, unless you want to pay $1,000 just for 4 tickets, sit all the way up top. So, a lot of excitement,
But when Philly's not playing good, if they lose they lose like 6, 7, 8 games in a row, and then the ticket price drops. Sometimes you can find Phillies tickets for $3, $5 for during the week, of course, because people tend to go on the weekend. So during the week, you can, if the Phillies not playing good, you can get really cheap, like $3 to $5 tickets on SeatGeek or StubHub.
Yeah, when Phillies are bad, just up until 2018, from 2012 they were okay. 2013 to 2017, they were bad. It was 5 years, so you could go to game for almost next to nothing.
Yeah, right,
you could
right.
really get a ticket on.
But when they do play good, they win a few games, and then the ticket price goes up.
Yeah, like anything else. I mean,
Right.
we talked about it the very first episode of Scan Talk. Philadelphia fans just jump on the bandwagon. Last year the Flyers games, there was all kinds of empty seats at games. The upper deck was at best half full
But
during some
Flyers
games.
tickets are expensive.
Yeah. But now the Flyers game, they're pretty much sold out. Or might be like just a couple hundred seats not filled. But, you win, people want to go to the games. You lose, nobody wants to go to the games.
Right. That's just how it is. And the other thing I wanted to talk about the Phillies, it's in the news right now, is that they ended the Dollar Dog Night. Okay, so traditionally, like every year they would do a few Dollar Dog Night, which is $1 for the hot dog on the Dollar Dog Night game, game night. And people love it. A lot of people, I know a lot of fans that goes to the Phillies game on those nights just because they can get a cheap hot dog. And part of it is, of the excitement is because how at the sports arena, even movie theater, they're selling popcorns for like $10, a box of popcorn for $10. And then the Phillies Citizens Bank Park, I know for a fact, a hot dog's about $6 or $7, right? And then they have the bigger ones, the quarter pounders for like $8. And I never understand why. First of all, I never understand why are hot dogs so expensive, because if you do any like even a little bit of grocery shopping, you won't know the hot dogs are the cheapest like meat products. In the sense of like burgers, sausage patties. Hot dogs are the cheapest because you can buy a whole big pack of hot dog for not a lot of money. Let's put it this way, $3.50. You can get all beef ones. You can get 3-pound Ditz and Watson all beef hot dog or sausage for about $10. Hot dog is, it's not good meat. Recently we also seen the news. They show you how they make hot dog with like pink slime and all that stuff. People didn't even know what pink slime was, which is a mixture of ground up meat and seasoned and made into hot dogs. So hot dog is not something that's very expensive. But when you go to the mall's food court, right, they have those Nathan's hot dog stand, and then 2 hot dogs, it's for like $11, $12. And you want to add Nathan's fries, it costs more money. So at the food stand, like the food court in the mall or at the state, the sports arenas, they sell hot dogs for too much money, like $6, $7, $8 for a hot dog. And that is why people are excited about being able to go to the Phillies game and get a hot dog for $1. But now they are going to end the Dollar Dog Night, and I know we talked about earlier, and actually what do you know about it? Like why are they ending the Dollar Dog Night?
I mean, they've had Dollar Dog Night for as long as I can remember. I mean, I only remember starting in the mid-90s, and it was always a big, because from 94 to 2000 the Phillies were really bad again. From 01 to 07 they were decent. From 08 to 2011 that was their big years. Dollar Dog Night was always known to always be big crowds. A few different colleges actually used to run buses. I remember in the late 90s, 2000s. They used to keep track how many dollar dogs were sold.
I'm sure it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One year it was like 40-some thousand hot dogs were sold. You know, it was only like 22,000 people there, so every person on average ate two hot dogs. It was crazy.
Two hot dog per person.
Right. You know, there's a lot of people that just don't eat. For whatever reason, they don't like eat hot dogs or they don't eat the meat or whatever. So probably people that went for that game probably averaged 3 hot dogs, which is people used to put in the stands how many they had. They used to like exit off. Like 5 hot dogs, 10 hot dogs, the line across. Like anything else, the Phillies are going to be really good this year. They should be really good. There's a lot of excitement. And I think, quite frankly, the Phillies don't really, unfortunately, they look at it as they don't need that dollar dog. Like, people are going to come to our games regardless. They are doing the buy one, get one free. I think they said the hot dog's $5. So you're getting 2 hot dogs for $5 instead of 2 hot dogs for $2. I mean, I don't think that's going to, unfortunately, prevent anybody from going to the game that night. But that was always just a tradition, dollar dog night. They had like 5 or 6 a year. It was always like a Monday night or a Tuesday night. A lot of times against another bad team when the Phillies were bad, and they probably got an extra 8 or 10,000 people that went to the game just extra tradition for a dollar dog night. And it ended anytime a tradition ends, it's always a little sad.
I know it's good promotion for them. Like you say, they put a dollar dog night on like an off night when they play a not very exciting team, and they know people are not gonna go, and usually during the week. So it is a promotional tool that they use to attract more people to the stadium than the normal crowd will actually buy the ticket and go to the game on that particular night. And when I asked you about, because earlier you were telling me you were gonna tell me why the dollar hot dog night ended, and I thought you knew. Yeah, right. That's what I was gonna let you.
Right. Well, they're saying is because it causes a lot of problems. Over, with the trash or whatever. The wrappers end up on the field. People roll up the hot dogs that they don't eat. They just get a bunch. There's only $1 anyway. You grab 5, and you're only going to eat 2 or 3 anyway. And they throw them all over the stadium. They dirty up the stadium. The wrappers end up on the field. Especially like in April and May, it's going to be windy out. As they're playing the game, the wrappers are floating around. That's their excuse. I'm sure it's not something they look forward to cleaning up, and I'm sure it's a little bit of a distraction. But I'm strongly feel that they know there's going to be a lot of excitement. They don't need the dollar dog night to get people in the stadium.
I thought you were gonna say, and I know for a fact, right? Because it was in the news. It is because. Do you remember last year during a game, the fans was angry about something, and it just happens to be dollar hot dog night, so people were throwing hot dogs at other fans, and I don't remember if they threw out on the field at the players, but there was a big food fight. There was actually a big food fight on a Phillies dollar hot dog night, and Philadelphia Phillies used that reason to me as an excuse to end the dollar hot dog night. Did you know that?
Yeah, I mean, there's been incidents over the years. And it's one of those things. At some point, unfortunately, with prices and all, like you don't really see things for a dollar. Even a dollar store don't even exist. It's a $1.25 store. So I knew at some point the dollar dog night was probably going to end. Just hope it was going to be at least a few years down the road.
That's what I was going to say, because excuses. We know excuses are excuses. That's why we do the show. We have something to say, something to criticize, and we say it. It was and has been a good promotional tool for the Phillies to attract more fans there during the off night, right? And in turn, they might have to sell a hot dog for $1, but I'm sure they're not losing any money, because hot dogs the cheapest food you can buy, and the rolls doesn't cost a lot of money. It costs them less than $1 to make that hot dog. Because normally the fans are being ripped off paying $7, $8 for a hot dog, so they're not losing money selling the hot dog for $1, first of all, and they do that to attract more people to go to the game, and then they make more money on the tickets for the game, and then people eat a dollar hot dog, and then they also buy beer. A can of beer there is like around $12.50 or $15, depending on the size of it, and even a souvenir cup soda is like $8.50. So people buy the hot dog, they gotta drink something, so they also buy the drinks. So I just think it's really dumb for them, for the Phillies to end the hot dog night, because this way they don't have that promotion, and they're gonna lose a lot ticket sales and the related food sales money. And also it's a shame on Philly, because if they're gonna use people throwing the hot dogs right on Dollar Dog Night as an excuse to end the Dollar Hot Dog Night, then let me ask you. I'm just saying. Then last year there's also incidents of the fans at Sixers game throwing popcorn. Then are they gonna stop selling the $8.50 box of popcorn they're selling? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it really is all about money. Like people threw beer and people threw beer cans and spray beer all over the place. You see it on the on the game from time to time, all the time. And why are they not stop selling those $15 can of beer? You know what I mean? But they had the nerves to stop selling the dollar hot dog. I just, I mean, I never really been to a dollar dog night, but I think it's a good idea, and I just don't think Philly should, stop selling cheap hot dogs just because, they because there was a food fight. That's what I have to say.
Right. But unfortunately, they already announced it. They did announce the buy one get one, and I highly doubt it'll come back once things get canceled. They normally.
Yeah, and I don't think the fans are very happy about it. But like I say, it's all about the money. When people stop going to the game, and then they'll bring it back. Right? It's all about the dollar and cents. Okay, so enough about the Phillies. Now, Philadelphia Eagles. Uh, Eagles, they're always trying to. I have been criticizing them, even though I'm a fan, but they're always finding ways to make more money. You know, so the Eagles season ended badly last year. You know, halfway through the season, and the team and everything collapsed, and they were losing a lot of games at the end, right? So earlier in the season, everybody was buying those Kelly Green uh, jackets and shirt, and the Eagles Pro Shop was packed with people. Everybody spending money, $400 for uh, the Kelly Green, the Eagles Diana Princess jacket, which I have been being a big criticizer about that, because I don't think they should sell some back in the days jacket for $400. That's just a complete ripoff. Like I can go to a clothing store, buy a nice leather jacket for $100, and this Diana Princess jacket, other than it's Eagles and it's Kelly Green, it's not all leather either. So since the Eagles collapsed, and then I have been to the pro shops from time to time just to check, see if there are any sales after the football season ended, and see if there's anybody's in the store. And every time I go to the Eagles pro shop, it's completely empty. There's no one in the store other than me, and every time I go, because I make video for my show, so I make videos. There's, the store's empty, and the store is still full of Kelly Green stuff, new product, and the product from last year, and nobody's bothering with it. And the weird thing is there are no sales. You figure, the way the season ended last year, and they probably wanted to get rid of all that Kelly Green stuff, because we don't know, I'm sure the Eagles has a plan, but we don't know what they're going to try to sell next year, right? Because 2 years ago was all black helmet, black jersey and everything, and last year was Kelly Green. I'm sure they'll come up with something for next season, right? New, exciting, and maybe like Kelly Green, it's old, and everybody likes Kelly Green, I have to say it's old and exciting. They'll come up with something, but you figure they will want to get rid of the older stuff they had, left over from last year. But there are no sales, so there's nothing going on at the pro shop. And now you know, uh, soon the NFL combine and the draft is coming up, right? So now they're start to do events again. So in April 20, yeah, April 21st, they're doing at the Lincoln Financial Field. The Eagles doing this huddle up for autism event, which they do every year. It has nothing to do with football. It's not a draft party. It's not anything NFL. It's just something they do so they can charge people $10. Uh, if you look at his donation or however you look at $10 goes toward the autism foundation. So they do events to make money. They do events to raise money, which is okay because like the autism event, if you're into it, you want to go, you want to donate, that's fine. But I still don't think it's fair that the Philadelphia Eagles charges people $10 toward the autism, right, for the open practice, because traditionally, and as you know, other football teams has a lot open practice almost every weekend. In late June and early July, they will have open practice, and you can go for free, right? You can sign up, you can go for free, and the Eagles charging people $10 to go to used to be two, and I think now it's down to one open practice at the Lincoln Financial Field. That's like almost putting a gun to people's head, force them to donate. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not into donation. I'm not into helping people, or I don't think it's a good cause. But there's no need to force people to help other people because I would just dig in my pocket if somebody need help. I would just dig in my pocket, get somebody something to eat or help people. But I just don't like to be forced to donate and help other people. I just think it's weird. And so my point is, if Eagles does anything to make money, and I don't know, how do you feel about that? I mean, do you feel like you're being ripped off? Other than like, if of course you want to go to a game, right? And if it's $50, $60, $100 for the ticket, you pay for it because that's what you want to do. But do you feel like all year round and you just being charged a lot of money for nothing?
Yeah, I mean, for years it was free. Now they charge it 10, but I mean, it goes to charity. I mean, everyone knows somebody that unfortunately maybe has autism or on the autism spectrum. It's one of those things. People donate. People are not gracious or hard, or donate whatever money they have, or donate time, or go around and help donations. Eagles are popular. They're going to sell out that game, but at least the money goes to the autism as opposed to the owners or management who already have unlimited amounts of money. Maybe they can make it free, and then as you go in, have a tip bucket so these people don't feel forced. Then maybe some people, since it's a free ticket, that maybe have a little more money, donate 15, 20. Who knows? Maybe a couple people even donate 100. If you look at it that way, maybe they would make the same amount of money, or maybe even a little bit of more money without just charging 10 to get in. I mean, that's another way to look at it. I mean, I never went to the practices. The practices are usually in the summer. Which I'll get to in future Scan Talk shows. I get down to North Wildwood at all. So I think the games or practices are usually like Sunday nights. So I'm usually unavailable anyway. But some families been doing it for a long time, and some families, husband, wife, and 4 kids go to the thing. So it's $60. But maybe if it was free, they would even donate more than 60. It's just another way to look at it.
Yeah, because some people will actually donate more than $10 when they go to an event such as the open practice. Some people might dig in their pocket and put $50, in the box when they go in, and I think that's a better approach. So people don't feel like they're forced to pay into donation. It's like the Philadelphia Art Museum, right? Every Sunday is free, but you're encouraged to put whatever you want in the donation box, to support the Philly art. I think that's a better approach, uh, and and it will probably be better with the relations with the fans. Okay, so now I got that off my chest, because I just feel like every time I go to a Eagles event, whether it's football related or not, and I'm just being ripped off more and more money, and then and it's disappointing when the Eagles playing the game, and I mean they know how to do everything else, but playing football, right? Don't you feel that way? Like the last 7 or 8 games of last year, it's like they lose each one of the games. Like it's a football team. You need to concentrate on playing football, not selling things. You know what I mean? But because at the end, if your football team's no good, if they're not winning, and people are not, as we call a lot of people are, bandwagoners. They jump on the bandwagon when the team is good. So you're gonna lose a lot of fan base. They're just gonna jump right off the bandwagon when you're not playing good. So what money is there to make? Right?
Right, exactly.
So now since we're talking about the football part of it, Jalen Hurts, he he was playing good. He was a good player at the beginning, but then at one point he got paid, right? He was made a franchise player just like Carson Wentz did, and he got paid. I think it was the highest paid contract in NFL. It was 300, like close to 350 million for like 8 or 10 years, and then mysteriously he's start to regress, right? He's experienced regression in his football playing skill, and then now he's having some rumors of he's having problems with the players, such as AJ Brown and stuff like that. So it kind of scared me because it's like Carson Wentz all over again. So what? How do you see this? How do you see Jalen Hurts? What do you think is happening to him?
I mean, Jalen Hurts been a starter for 3 years. The first year he was up and down. He showed glimpses of playing really well. The second year, obviously,
that's because he was in the shadow of Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was there, and since Carson was the franchise quarterback, and somehow all of a sudden Eagles draft another quarterback. Of course, if I was Carson Wentz, I will have problem with that too. So there was already quarterback controversy and tensions there. So I can understand that he couldn't. Then Jalen Hurts may not be able to do what he wants to do or play the way he wants to play, right?
Right, and then last year, unfortunately they lost. I guess it was 6 out of the last 7. But people forget they also won 10 of the first 11. So they were 10-1. Of course, when you finish the year poorly, you always remember the end of the year. You also were 10-1. So if you weren't 10-1 to get there, those games at the end wouldn't have mattered anyway. They wouldn't make the playoffs. I mean, he was playing well He was playing well. Wasn't playing as well as he was last year. But the game they beat Buffalo to go 10-1, he had like 330 some yards passing. Like 2 rushing TDs. He had that. The Russian touchdown against Buffalo in overtime, the walk-off win. So up until that point, he was really good. He wasn't as good as he was last year. The schedule this year was also much more difficult than last year. The 2022 schedule, they went to the Super Bowl, great year, tons of fun, but the schedule was pretty bad. If you look back at those teams, they played like 5 out of the 6 worst teams in the NFL. But, we're not going to know until September starts this year if it's going to be the Jalen Hurts of 2021, 22, or 23. Because 2021, he was like okay, maybe decent. 2022, he was great. 2023, he was just like pretty good. So like you can get a 2021 Hurts, a 22 Hurts, or a 23 Hurts. If it's the 21 Hurts or 23 Hurts, maybe room to panic a little bit because he's got 4 years left on his contract, so he's not going anywhere up until 24, 25, 26, 20, until 2028. You can't replace him. So, not a whole lot you could do except hope there was problems in the locker room. I mean, little by little, maybe it's coming out, but there was something definitely wrong. Even though obviously Jalen Hurts plays on offense. The defense really played bad the last couple games, even though that really has nothing to do with the offense. It still has a psychological of, the defense seemed like they were going to have a touchdown every possession, or at least a field goal. Maybe that forced the offense to press or put a little too much pressure on them. That could have led to some problems.
And then there were some turnovers too. There were some turnover problems.
Right. And the offensive line's not getting any younger. They were dominant in 2022. This year, everyone gets older, but you could tell a couple of the older guys looked a little bit older. And if they, if Kelsey comes back, he's not any younger, and the other guys are not getting any younger. The offensive line.
So I guess we'll just have to wait until this, 2024 football season start and see how Jalen Hurts is playing, and then we'll know, whether we have a good Jalen Hurts or his further regressing in playing football. And so first, it was Darius Slay. He was having problem with things he said about the Philadelphia Eagles fan base on a podcast. And then was AJ Brown, things he posted on his Facebook page. And then turns out, just like previously, Devontae Smith or somebody else, I don't remember who it was. It was last year, they post something on their Facebook page, and then they say they didn't post it, and then other teammates come out and say, their Facebook was hacked. So, I mean, okay, you say, you use that excuse one time. Okay, maybe the person's Facebook was hacked. But you use that excuse twice. Now it becomes weird, So, well, what do you know, and what do you think of some of the Eagles player have so many problems with social media?
Right. And the thing is, the guys we're mentioning are A.J. Brown, Darius Slay or whatever. And, of course, they're two of the more popular players. I mean, they're two of the better players on the team. So, of course, people pay attention to their social media, whereas, to back up left tackle, you don't really care if they put on social media. But it is a heck of a coincidence that people are saying it was hacked.
Yeah.
I've had Facebook for about 15 years, Instagram for, 8 or 9 years, and I'm not a celebrity. I've never been hacked. I know a few people have been hacked, but the odds of, there's tons of celebrities that have never been hacked. Singers, musicians, actors.
The Green Legion. I just found out yesterday that our friend Quimby, the owner of the Green Legion, website was hacked.
Yeah, I mean,
is that true?
That's what I see on Facebook. I don't know how you hack it.
Or is monkey see, monkey do? Yeah. Quimby says, the Eagles use that excuse. Okay, now my Facebook page is hacked too.
Yeah.
You think Quimby was drunk and put on that you were telling me the episodes of old soap opera on there?
Yeah, so much
maybe Quimby was drunk.
Thing. Yeah, I don't know how people hack Facebook. I'm not a computer.
I don't know
nerd.
Either. I don't think it's that easy.
No,
I really don't think it's that easy.
I don't know how to do it. I'm not very good with technology to begin with.
Right.
But I don't know how you attack a random social media page and put goofy things on there. I have no idea how you do that. I probably know even how to record these YouTube episodes. I'm still learning, but we live in a day and age of social media where everything gets reported. And if the Eagles would have won the Super Bowl, or even went to the NFC title game, finished the season 13-4 instead of 11-5, and would have won a playoff game or two, probably we wouldn't even be talking about this. We'd be like, all right, season's over. It's another good year. We'll be back next year. But it didn't happen to the 25 Phillies players. Didn't happen to the Sixers. Didn't happen to the Flyers. It happened to the 2-star Eagle players. So it is a heck of a coincidence.
Yeah, back then, everything, you get your news, you get your the news conference after a game, where you see the game on TV and the radio. That was it. Right. Or you can read the newspaper. But nowadays, the social media is actually interactive, right? Somebody can post something, and then you can commenting on it. So that becomes a problem, in a way. So who knows? Right. I just think it's funny how the Eagles, having all the Eagles players have all these problems with social media, but like you said earlier when I was talking to you, you said age of the social media, not just the Eagles. You said other teams are experiencing the same thing with their players.
Yeah, I mean, some players are, they start talking about stupid things on their social media page. Sometimes it's not even about sports, it's about like weird things. And
Yeah.
Players have to,
Completely weird stuff.
I never been a professional player, obviously, or any type of, professional, but you got to realize if you're going to put something stupid on social media, people are going to catch on, report it, and that. Then you even have a bigger problem, and, you can't always use the excuse it was hacked. That might work once, it's not going to work twice. But.
Yeah, and one more thing I have noticed about Facebook and social media have to do with the Philadelphia Eagles. I saw this posting, right? It appears to be like a news article with a catchy opening line, right? Headline. And it was actually posted on Philadelphia Eagles fan. Let me say it again. Philadelphia Eagles for Fans Facebook page. Okay, and the headline was about the relationship between the AJ Brown and the quarterback Jalen Hurts. So it is catchy, because AJ Brown just had a problem of his Facebook being hacked, and now he might have said some things about Jalen Hurts or whatever, so people want to know what happened, right? So the problem is when you click on the comments, right, you'll see some Eagles fans commenting, say, Cowboys fans infiltrate the Eagles fan page or whatever. But then what happened to me is when I click on the headline, right, it appears to be like a legitimate news article. But quickly, right, as I scroll up and down to read the article, quickly, not only there are a lot advertisement at the end of each short paragraph, and then you will have to click next to read the next paragraph, and then the same thing happens. There's another ad, then you got to click on next. So there's endless next page, right? And that happens a lot with when people put some interesting picture or interesting subject, and then you want to look at, right? So that's something it's a advertisement scam. Right. It's not a legitimate news article that somebody posted on there or wrote on there for you to see. It itself is a kind of advertisement scam because they want you to see their advertisement. And also, while I was reading the paragraph, and the window, on my phone completely changed to some jeweler's advertisement. So it would just, once you click on the headline, right, you get endless advertisement. That's all there's to it. So in other words, this is not even something that's legit or even something posted by a Cowboys fan, This is just an advertisement scam, and I kind of figured it out. So you really got to be careful on what you are watching and what you see, on social media or Facebook, because some of the things are just illegit,
Like a lot of times on Facebook, I'm scrolling down, I read a headline, it doesn't make any sense. Talking about the NFL draft or some stupid trade. It's not realistic, and that's why more, we use the term fake news a lot. There is just
fake news, right?
You don't know which, and we were talking about earlier. Newspapers barely exist if they exist anymore. So now everyone's getting their information from the internet, and half the time you don't even know if you're reading about is true. So people aren't watching TV as much. Cable subscriptions are down dramatically. Cable might be gone in 5 years. So anymore, you don't know what to believe, especially with sports. With or trade rumors or this player. You almost have to just kind of guess it, what was true and what, let's face it, people make money off of ratings for their YouTube channel, for their, their podcast, for what people click on. They call it clickbait or whatever. Everybody's looking for the clickbait.
Yeah.
So
you got to
be careful out there.
You got to use your own intelligence, about what you read, and common sense about what you read, what you see, and determine if it's worth it, if it's real news or it's fake news. Okay, so I know I mean, this ended up being a what is an endless show. We've been talking for a long time already. Oh my God, there are other things I can talk about, but it's too much. So we're gonna end the sports talk right there. Okay, so now let me quickly get to the events. The good thing is there hasn't been a lot of events, late February, early March. That's why we're able to sit here and talk about sports.
Football's over, baseball hasn't started, Sixers and Flyers just kind of floating through the regular season.
Yeah, exactly. So Friday, March 1st, there was the second one of the WIP Radio Clap Your Hands podcast. It's not an actual podcast show, but it's just the podcast host, Elliot Shore Parks, and the other guy. I always say the other guy. I think his name is Jack Fritz.
Yeah,
Jack. Right. Jack Fritz. Yeah. They were at McGurk's in Fort Washington, and I try to go to as many events, but sometimes it's just too far and it's not worth it. So I did not go, but my friend Jody went. Right, she go there trying to win the Sixers tickets. The Coors Light beer was providing a pair of tickets for the grand prize, but it was really weird because Jody told me that night, right, for some strange reason the radio station and Coors Light beer, they couldn't come up with the tickets. They didn't know where the price, with the grand prize, which is pair of tickets to Sixers game. They didn't know where it was. So there was no tickets giveaway. So instead, they bundled up, like those rally towels and koozies and stuff. T-shirt, Sixers hat, the stuff they usually just give away randomly. They bundled them up to like 7 different bundles. And they draw the raffle ticket for the bundle of the prices instead of the game tickets. So Jody actually got some things for me. As you can see, Coors Light koozie, Coors Light and Sixers branded koozie, and this rally towel. Well, upside down. This Sixers and Coors Light branded rally towel. So thanks to Jody, she got those things for me. I went to the first one with Jody, and they had the same thing. I got also, other than a rally towel and koozie, I got a T-shirt and a hat too. So I just didn't think it was necessary to go this time because they will have the same thing all over again. And then the following day on Saturday, March the 2nd, there was a event. Shannon Sharp, right? He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, he was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2011. He's on, ESPN. He's all over the place with appearances,
Apparently, he's a big deal. So he was doing a cognac liquor bottle signing at Roger Wilco's in Pennsauken, New Jersey. So I went, and the line got long. The line was like the last 30 minutes. The line got super long. It was hundreds of people there, and the bottle of liquor, cognac, it cost $99. So it was $100 for a bottle of liquor, and then he'll sign the bottle or the box for you. So there were a lot of people there, and there was a situation because I think a lot of people pay for the bottle of liquor, and they were supposed to have all those bottles. So the people that purchase the liquor can have the Shannon Sharp to sign the box or the liquor there, and then they can take it home. And turns out the liquor store did not have enough supply of liquor. They were short supplied, I think. And then when they announced that to the people that pay for the liquor, that in the line waiting to get autograph, and a lot of customer was disappointed and displeased because they were told, if you bought more than one bottle of liquor, right, you can, on that day, you can get wine signed and take home. Then the other one, say if you bought 3 bottles altogether, then the other 2 bottles, they'll send it to your house, signed by Shannon, sent to your house within 30 days. But a lot of people have problem with that because they want to see Shannon sign the bottle.
Sure.
Right? If you have it sent to your house, you don't know who signed it. So I do understand that. So right then, a lot of customers start to react and complaining. And some people even asked for a refund and got out of line. So I'm glad that we have some, and I apologize.
But they more people do use the power than 3/4. Didn't it say that?
Yeah, you see the
What happened? It's gonna be a problem.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. They
What
sold
happened?
it.
But anyways, this is what the bottle liquor looks like. That's the box. And I had Shannon Sharp to sign the box, which is right here. The liquor's over there inside the box, and he signed right here. Hall of Fame. Was it 2011?
Yes.
He put 11 on there, yeah. So here it is. $100 bottle of cognac. Okay, so that was that. Only 2 events for this week. And now some of the upcoming events. Friday, March 8th, from 7 to 9 p.m., there is a 97.5 Corona Sixers game watch party. This one, you can, look up on the screen, or you can look on the 97.5 The Fanatics event page. This one, it's I think it's in Westchester. I think it's somewhere in Westchester, is far away. I wasn't planning on going. And then Wednesday, March 13th, there's a WIP Birds Town Hall, which they do every year. They talk about the current state of the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're gonna get a little bit into about the NFL Combine and the NFL Draft. And this one is at McGurk's in Horsham. It's an all-day event. They start broadcasting at 6 a.m. and ends at 6 p.m. But in between noon and 1 p.m., they will have Swoop and the Eagles cheerleaders there to take picture with the fans. And then on Thursday, March 14th, at 8 p.m., there's a Sixers game watch party. This one, it's the ones I like, unlike the 97.5, the radio station Sixers game watch party. This one, it's by the Sixers Bar Network, which is, it's done by the Sixers, and the Sixers do bring out the street team, which is their dancing team, and this one, it's at Kavanaugh's Rittenhouse, and it's a smaller bar in the center city. So it's not good when they're doing this big event at a smaller place, because then they can't dance inside the bar.
Right.
The dancers cannot dance, and there's no room for the drummers, Sixers drummers, to bring in the drums and all that stuff. Even though sometimes they would do it outside, but it's better when they do it at a bigger restaurant or bar. There's room so they can march the drums in there, and the dancers will do like sometimes even some break dance. So Kavanaugh's at Rittenhouse is it's a smaller bar, but the event is still fun. They do the limbo contest, but this place is really small. I don't even think they have room for that. But I will be going, to this one, Sixers Bart Network game watch party, and you can also win tickets to Sixers game. They have like about 5 pair of tickets to give away each time. They'll raffle all 4 pairs tickets, and then the 5th pair, they do the limbo contest at the end, right? And then And then, of course, Sunday, April 21st, is that the Eagles huddle up for autism event I was talking about. I will continuing talking about this until the time of the event. So it's a big event. It's fun. They do every year. It's like kind of like a pre-season, NFL draft, pre-everything event. They open up the stadium so you can, just like game day, you can go in there and you can walk around. You can even get on the field. And then, you can go into the locker room, and then they have some activities here and there. It's going to be a fun and relaxing day at the Lincoln Financial Field. So, my friend Dennis, Scan Talk.
Scan Talk. I'm looking to record more episodes. Like I said earlier, I was getting ready to do a few. People drop out at the last minute. They're really laid back. There's no tough questions. It's fun. If you have a small business, you're a bartender or whatever, just come on, talk, have fun. There's no stress, nothing, no tough questions. I'm, looking to start recording a couple more episodes. I got a couple people that I think will do an episode in the near future. Just a matter of setting up the time and everything. So look out for Scan Talk. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. SCAN Talk, TALK. I'm only on YouTube. I don't do all the podcasts. Strictly YouTube. Search, please subscribe, and check out a couple episodes.
Or contact him if you have something to say, you want to be on his show,
Exactly. I have my own Facebook page now,
Right.
So hit me up if you're interested. I'm sure we'll think of something to talk about, and, it's fun, it's laid back, no stress, no drama, nothing controversial on the show.
Yeah, and also if you like the events I go to, you like what I do, subscribe to my channel, and meet me out there at the events. Thanks for watching.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk to soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.